Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Boise. We're at ExtraMile Arena to open the 2023-24 basketball campaign as the Boise State Broncos host the Vanguard Lions here tonight in the home and season opener for the Broncos. Lions already 1-0 this season. Leonard Berry with you alongside me, a former Boise State forward, Nick Duncan. And Nick, for Boise State, they're looking to get back to the NCAA tournament. They've done it twice in a row, looking to make it 3 straight for the first time in program history.
Finally basketball time in Boise, and as you said, coming off a great postseason last year in March. But I think there's a bit of unfinished business, as the team was talking about, so the team will be looking off to get a good start against the Lions.
Boise State looking to get off to that good start. Broncos return 3 starters from last year's squad to the team this year. They add in 6 new faces, and they're littered throughout the roster. Hoping to make an impact here tonight are a lot of these new names.
A few big departures last year with Marcus Schaefer Jr. as well as Najee Smith. So we'll see Roddy Anderson III step up here for UC San Diego transfer. Led all freshmen in Big West, scoring last year with 15.8 points. Led the team in assists as well with 3.8. So we'll see if he can fill the void with Marcus Schaefer Jr. What also I think is going to be a big matchup this year is Andrew Meadows coming in, top-ranked recruit from Southern California, 3-star prospect. Sounds like he really shined up at the Canada trip that the Broncos took over the summer, so I think he'll be a big part of the Broncos this year.
Omar Stanley from St. John's and Cam Martin from Kansas, 2 big transfers as well for the Broncos. We'll see what impact they can make tonight. It's Vanguard and Boise State coming up next on the Mountain West Network and KTVB. Basketball time in the city of trees. Leonard Berry, Nick Duncan with you, welcoming in all our viewers on KTVB and the Mountain West Network here tonight for opening night at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State and Vanguard going head-to-head in the season opener. A look at the starting 5 for the Boise State Broncos. Shabuzo Abo and Max Rice in there with a trio of newcomers for the Broncos.
I'm sure everyone's looking at the screen with Tyson Degenart out tonight with a nose injury, but that means that Meadows in the starting lineup for the Broncos.
4 guards and 1 forward in there for Vanguard, a team that's going to want to play some 5-out small ball basketball against the Broncos here tonight.
They're going to be a smaller team, but they're going to spread you out, look to pass the ball and shoot some threes, and they'll get up and down the court and get on the offensive glass.
Jackson Larson, the 6'7" forward, in there against Cam Martin for the tip. It's 1 to Roddy Anderson III, and we are underway here in Boise as the Broncos look to get a hot start to their season. A lot of these players got to play together in the foreign trip for Boise State, but they're going to turn the ball over on their very first possession. First look at the glass for Vanguard, and there's Jackson Larson. He was 4 of 7 from the floor against Caltech. Starts off with his first make.
Spoke to Coach Burns earlier in the week, and Vanguard's going to get up in your face, play 94 feet for full court. They're going to play a lot of pressure, as you saw, causing a turnover on the first play of the game.
They collected 22 steals in their victory over Caltech as Abo rises and misses a 3. Rice trying to save it and does. Here comes Anderson, dump off to Martin for the 2-handed slam.
Beautiful pass there by Anderson. Going to see a lot of that this year.
Into the lane, nice shot fake from Nico Daska, but the shot comes up short. And this is a Vanguard team, as you said, Nick. They're going to guard you the length of the floor, but they're also going to get in between those passing lanes and make it very hard to get the ball through.
And they may be a bit shorter than Boise State, but they're going to get in the lanes, get up in you, force these turnovers. As you said, 22 turnovers the first game of the year, and that's a lot of turnovers to force.
It's 6 different players record 3 steals in that game against Caltech as Meadows tries to get the ball to Anderson here in the early stages. On the wing, the transfer for Boise State from UCSD. This is the freshman Meadows trying to bang down low. Steps through, goes up against the double team, and it falls to Abo. It'll work out for the Broncos.
Strong move by Meadows, but again, another message from the Boise State coaching staff was they're going to crash the boards this year. They haven't done so in the past couple of years, but they're going to look to get on the glass, get some energy that way in the game.
Boise State very committed to the offensive rebound. There's a nice fall away from Larson to knot it up at 4.
Integral part for the Lions. Started all games last year.
He's a San Diego Community College transfer as Max Rice gets the bucket and the foul call.
Beautiful backdoor play by Max Rice, and you're going to see Anderson this year. He's a playmaker, averaging 3.8 assists last year, and strong finish there by Max to get his first points for the season.
Good movement off the ball by Rice, who was second on the team last year for Boise State with 14 points per game. He'll miss the free throw, however.
Rare miss for him.
Was nearly a 90% free throw shooter last year was Rice. Came in just a shade below at 89%. This ball is loose, and it is a turnover. Sims, the senior, lost the handle.
Cam Martin might only be 6'9", but he can move his feet laterally on that pick and roll. We'll be seeing that a lot, moving their feet and creating some turnovers here. As you can see, Vanguard doing the same thing with the full court pressure.
Trapped Rice there in the backcourt. Nearly threw it away. He picks up the dribble. Broncos leading by just 2 here in the early stages. Jump pass from Anderson. Finds Rice into the step back triple. And Max Rice picking up where he left off last year.
Slow start to the season last year, but finishing with 41% from the three-point line, and looks like he started where he left off.
Foul called as Meadow stripped the ball loose, and then he got knocked into by Micah Schwartz. See the bump there against the Boise State freshman, making the Rec Specs look cool again. It certainly says a lot about the faith the coaching staff has in him as Anderson tries to knife through. Martin on the offensive glass with the putback for the Broncos.
Start the game, Anderson getting into the lanes there and makes it easy as a big. And that big has the help off a drive. Great putback there by Cam Martin.
Schwartz, the 3 ball, that's good. And Vanguard ends a 7-0 Boise State run. Lions shooting very well. They're 3 of 4 from the floor so far.
Last game against California Institute of Tech, 14 threes, shooting 41%, so they'll be getting a lot of threes up tonight. Great way to start.
Broncos not too bad themselves, 5 of 9 from the floor. Rice comes off the screen. Wanted his second 3, doesn't get it, and a foul called against Martin as he went over the back. So we're 4 minutes into the contest. Boise State is up by 4, and Rice leading with 5 points. Boise State up 11-7. Broncos off to a hot start from the floor and doing a good job on the offensive glass early.
Key emphasis this year to hit the glass, obviously with the added depth this year. They play 8, 9, 10 guys, so they're going to bring the pressure on the offensive glass. 4 already, averaging 1 per minute. Created some opportunities for the offense on Boise State end. 6
second chance points for the Broncos already here this evening as Omar Stanley checks in. Number 1, the junior from Overland Park, Kansas, a St. John's transfer for Boise State. He comes in to play forward for the Broncos. There he is in the middle of your screen. He appeared in 31 games with 18 starts for St. John's a year ago, and Boise State managing to get him across the country, hoping that he can make an impact along with Cam Martin in the middle. It is Vanguard ball, and it's Cameron Wilson. Happening on the outside, this is Anthony Teo, who had a career debut. Scored 17 points in just 18 minutes in his first game for the Lions. Here's Abo, who's fouled.
It's looking like Marcus Schaefer out there, 2.0. Created a lot of opportunities here. Head up, spacing. See the Broncos running the floor and finding Abo under the basket.
Yeah, Roddy Anderson III has seem to fit right in here for Boise State, as Abo will miss his free throw. Trying to chase it down, but Wilson will grab it. Anderson already with 3 assists on the night for the Broncos as they lead by 6. And a turnover from the Lions. Pop Cisse trying to find the hands of Wilson. Look at the Boise State coaching staff. Leon Rice, assistant Tim Duryea, who we got to talk to earlier this week. He was the one who mentioned that Boise State put a big emphasis on crashing the offensive glass. They spent some time with the Houston coaching staff during the offseason, a team that is well regarded for their ability to rebound the basketball, as R.J. Keene turns the ball over for the Broncos.
As you mentioned, Houston, they can crash the glass, and coaching staff met with their staff and seemed like they learned a lot. A hot start on the offensive glass.
Anderson, a little shimmy shake to the rim, 4-2.
Exactly what the Broncos wanted, losing Schaefer last year downhill. Obviously seeing that he can dish out the ball as well with 3 assists.
Teo loses it. Stanley got in there for Boise State. Sets a big screen to free up Anderson. Meadows rises, hand in his face, and rebounded by Mitchell Prevost, the senior guard. The free throw line, Prevost flips it up, and he's fouled.
That's what they're going to do to you. The Vanguard, get inside the paint, get you on their feet, a little undersized, but getting the defense off their feet and drawing the foul there. Going to the line for 2 shots.
Good shot creating there for Prevost. He's a transfer from Columbia Junior College for the Lions. He'll miss his first free throw. That's 3 free throws tonight. All of them have been missed.
Shaking off the rust from the preseason, summer workouts, bit of nerves.
And the 4th one will finally drop. So Prevost gets his first point of the night. And Max Rice trying to push the tempo on that baseline. Back to the basket. Rice is really dangerous in the Lowe's post as Jace Whiting comes in. 2nd unit point guard, puts a shot up. Tip won't go, knocked around, and rebounded by Prevost. Wilson tied up. He's fouled by Whiting.
Attacking the lanes again. Drawing that foul. Broncos seem to be getting a few lineup movements here to start early. See the foul here. Block here, but R.J. Keene in the game. Kobe White. Young, excuse me. Getting a lot of guys in early minutes.
This is Cisse. Gives it up to Wilson, who takes on the deep straightaway 3. Long rebound, and Abo comes down with it. Keene, quick release.
We would have loved that one to go down. Redshirt freshman coming off an injury. Getting some early minutes in the game tonight.
Here's Teo to the baseline. Right-handed runner. That's a nice finish from the junior out of Anaheim, California. 8 of 10 from the floor for Teo in the win against Caltech. Makes his first shot tonight. Here's Abo trying to get some space. To the basket he goes, and Boise State on the dribble drive, creating penetration.
Doing a great job getting in the middle of the paint here as we see Vanguard doing the same thing. Become the Broncos on the fast break.
Stanley to the rack.
Wow, some athleticism there from Stanley.
Timeout called by Vanguard as Stanley rips down the rim. We take another look at the Bronco fast break.
The added depth this year, they're going to get out and run, not only on the offensive glass, but they're going to get out in the lanes, defensive rebounds, push that ball. You can see Stanley, a couple early minutes, but you can see what he can produce this year for the Broncos.
And for Boise State, at the 5 position, Omar Stanley, Cam Martin, a little undersized, but doesn't matter for Boise State. Helps them get out into transition as we look at our keys to the game for Boise State and Vanguard. One of the keys for Boise State is to find the right rotation and to be unselfish on offense. So far, through the first 8 or so minutes, we're seeing that. On Vanguard, they need to get some offensive rebounds. They have to protect the basketball if they want to win tonight.
I think for Boise State, finding that right rotation's key. Obviously, with 6 new guys coming in on the court, a lot of departures last year, I think Leon's going to use this game as really finding, what players gel with what players. Already got 4 or 5 substitutions off the bench already.
Broncos trying to go deep, find out who will be in those pivotal rotations in late games. This is Bryson Metz working on Whiting. As it knocked away from him, fades up in the lane. And the rebound goes to Kobe Young, redshirt sophomore out of Pasco, Washington. Whiting explodes to the hoop. That will go. Keene aggressive on the glass. And he draws a foul.
3 full white jerseys on the offensive glass here as we see the replay. RJ Keene doing a great job getting to the glass, and nothing better in your first game. Getting to the line, getting a few shots up, get that rhythm going as a red shirt freshman.
Keene's father was a McDonald's All-American, spent 4 years at Illinois from 1992 to 1996, so he comes from a pretty solid basketball background. He also comes from the Woodland, Texas, which has been a hotbed for Boise State talent over recent years. Players like Derek Alston, Alex Hobbs, Riley Abercrombie, all coming out from around the Houston area to Boise and making big impacts for the Broncos. Boise State up 11, 8 minutes into the contest. Larson fading away, hits back iron, and Martin's got the board for Boise State. Keene in transition, lays it off the glass with a soft touch.
RJ Keene starting strong, 2,000 points in his high school prep career. He's going to be a scorer this year for the Broncos, especially from the 3-point line.
Fall away from Metz won't go. Whiting in transition with Keene. They force a pass down low to Martin. Controls it. It's Young. And that's a Boise State 3.
Some great offense there off the defensive rebound. And you can see right now finding that right rotation with this 5, gelling really well on the court.
And one of the keys for Boise State was to be unselfish with the basketball. You see it right there from Martin. He's under the hoop. Could have taken that shot. Instead, makes the extra pass, finds the wide open Young for the 3 ball. Schwartz, hand in his face, it comes short.
Defensive pressure from the Broncos, just turning up a little bit here, midway through the first half.
Young behind the back, lost the ball right to Abo, who is fouled, trying to go up. 26-10, Boise State. They have the lead thanks to some hot early shooting. We welcome you back on KTVB and the Mountain West Network. Leonard Berry and Nick Duncan with you. Boise State on an 11-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Chibuzo Abo playing a big part for Boise State. When he scores 10 or more points, Broncos have a pretty decent record.
Pretty good record there, as you can see there. 40.2% from the 3-point line, but done a really good job crashing the boards, getting towards kind of layups. And I think that's key for him this year. Relied a lot on the 3 last year, obviously shot the ball well, but I think for him to take a step further this year for the Broncos is trying to get himself inside and getting some cheap, easy buckets. And that allows him to stretch out from the 3-point line as we move on throughout the season.
He'll make his first free throw, making a 12-0 run for Boise State. And Abo did take a lot of mid-range jumpers last year, more than anybody else on the Boise State roster. Abo loved that long 2, which has really fallen out of favor in recent years, both in college basketball and in the NBA. But Abo, great at it, so if he can add that scoring at the basket, he'll really be a true 3-level scorer for the Broncos this season. Sims lost the ball off his leg. It goes out of bounds.
Broncos defense doing a great job of just keeping their hands up, creating a lot of turnovers this game, just playing the percentages, no fouls.
Roddy Anderson, the third, back on for Boise State. Abo with the fake pass. Creates a little bit of space, but too ambitious, trying to get it to Martin. And that is Preston Sims. He hits the three, and Boise State calls the timeout.
See that pressure there from the Lions, exactly what they needed, creating that turnover. This is what they do, share the basketball, wide open three in the corner. Exactly what they needed to kind of slow that 30-0 run from the Broncos.
And Leon Rice immediately calling the timeout for Boise State, wanted to talk to his team about what just happened. And you can see for the Broncos that the play just fell apart on the offensive end. As you look at the file on Leon Rice, the two-time Mountain West Coach of the Year. And that stat there on the bottom, 20 or more wins in 10 out of his 13 seasons so far.
Yes, he's done okay, right? But last year's career from Leon, I think he's going to continue this year with the depth and trajectory of this team. So he's done a great job, and I know he's looking forward to this year.
2 years ago, Boise State, regular season and Mountain West tournament champions. Then last year, an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Certainly an upward trajectory for Boise State in terms of how they are viewed across the country. As Young goes down low, Martin muscling around, and that's a great finish from the seventh-year forward, Cam Martin. Metz, deep three, front iron. Young trying to walk the baseline. Extra pass, Anderson, open three, won't go. But Martin's there. Rice, he'll jack it up. That won't go. Abo. And Boise State doing work on the offensive glass. It leads to a foul.
Doing a great job on the offensive glass. Getting great positioning here by Abo off the Max Rice, missed three. Back to the line for Abo for two.
Really unfair there for Bryson Metz, the sophomore out of Vancouver, Washington. He's just 5'10", going against Shabuzo Abo, who's 6'7", 225.
Bit of a difference there, but give it to Vanguard right now. They're getting up and in, creating some disruptancy for the Boise State offense. They're really pushing them outside the three-point line. Usually on offense, you want to try and establish your offense on that three-point line, and they're doing a great job pushing them out, creating some of the turnovers and getting them out of rhythm.
Anderson just intercepts that pass, and then Teo goes slipping by Abo, but he'll get back in and rip it away. And there's a little battle brewing between those two. Great Euro step by Sims, and the finish at the rim.
Leon's getting a substitute, as he always says. Don't turn over a turnover. Number one rule. So great offensive attack there by the Lions. You see this full court pressure up and in them. Full court.
Good swing pass to Rice, the floater that he developed over the course of the past 2 seasons. And it's become almost automatic when Rice floats it in.
Usually a tough shot, but he makes it look easy out there. See Max Rice here creating the travel with some strong defense. See RJ King come back into the game for Abo.
Look at that pivot foot, got lifted up there. And for Rice, that floater, it was such a dynamic weapon. Used it really effectively in a couple of games. I can remember last year, Texas A&M in Fort Worth. He scored 25 points. He used the floater to create some space. And then, of course, who could forget the 30-point outing against New Mexico, where he scored nearly half his points in the paint. Meadow, deep three. Stanley keeps it alive, throws it off. Pop Cisse, and the Broncos will keep it. So it'll be Boise State basketball when we come back. Rice just outside the paint. Leonard Berry, Nick Duncan with you at Extra Mile Arena. Offensive rebounding, a big emphasis for Boise State coming into the season, and boy, have they proven that so far tonight. 8 O boards for the Broncos here early compared to none for Vanguard.
You can see 2, 3, even 4 white guys on white jerseys on the offensive glass, creating 10 second chance opportunities here. Arbo getting the rebound and getting to the line, and like we said, it was an emphasis, but we could definitely see them getting on the glass early and often.
Rice off the catch and shoot. There is a foul. Trying to get the rebound there was Meadow.
Sure, I'd like that one back. A little off balance, a little fade away. Probably could have straightened up his feet, got ready and shot a more upright shot there. I'm sure I'd like that one back.
Into the lane, nice hang, and a finish from Phillip Willis, the graduate student.
Great set play there, setting up the back door. Dasker with a great assist there and finish for the Lions.
Willis, who started every game the past 2 years for Vanguard, averaged 13.5 points per game a year ago. Meadow trying to get his shot up. Stanley closing out, scoring, and it will not count. The foul was on the floor as Stanley grabbed the board and went back up.
Another offensive rebound. Missed shot by Meadows, a few jitters, but I'd like to see that confidence continue to shoot, even though a couple missed shots, but another offensive rebound. Broncos going to the line.
Boise State is into the bonus here in the first half. So Stanley's shooting a 1-and-1, and he'll get a second by making the first. Slow shooting night for Boise State on the outside. Just 2 of 11 from 3 here to begin the evening.
Uncharacteristics, but you can offset that with offensive rebounds, which seems like they got a few from those 3-point misses.
Make it 12 second chance points for the Broncos on 9 offensive rebounds. This is Daska. Lays it off to Teo. Daska creates his own shot, and that's a crafty move.
Daska coming up with a couple of great possessions. You can just see Vanguard just building into this game, getting that ball moving, and once that ball gets moving and that rhythm comes from the offense, you can see them making some big plays.
Vanguard, an NAIA school in the midst of their transition to Division II. This will be their last year competing as an NAIA as Boise State fights on that offensive glass. Got 2 chances, couldn't get a third. It's the last year of NAIA competition for the Lions. They will move into Division II next year as Willis cans the shot. They'll be in the probationary period, however, so they won't be postseason eligible in D2 until the year prior. So it's really a 3-year transitionatory period. Nice find, Rice. Can't get it to go, and Boise State continues to miss from deep. In fact, they're just 1 of their last 8. As Stanley comes up with a huge rejection.
See the penetration here, but athleticism side might be a little undersized. We look at the lineup sheet, but you can see the presence down low to start the game.
Stanley will go to the bench. Boise State continuously rotating through. Teo's on the baseline. Out for Wilson. His 3 in and out. And Abo gets fouled. It's Jaden Johnson who came crashing in.
Mentioned there, the Broncos get a lot of guys in. Usually Leon likes to rely, as we see the missed shot here and foul, but usually relies 7, 8 guys, and obviously first game of the season, but he's interchanging, getting some of these younger and newer guys in the system some minutes and get them used to Extra Mile Arena. See Arbo hitting his first free throw.
Abo, 10 points already tonight. That free throw makes it 11 for him on the evening. You saw the record earlier as Abo misses free throw number 2. When Abo has 10 or more points for Boise State, the Broncos are 17-4. So he'll have to be a key contributor in terms of scoring the basketball this year for Boise State to have success. And he's off to a good start as he leads all scorers with the 11 points. Here he comes, back for 2 more, right inside the lane.
Great pass there by Whiting, getting the ball down the court. And like I said, I think Arbo's going to have a great season this year if he just focuses on getting some easy layups, and that 3 ball is always going to be there for him and add an extra weapon for him.
Really good point guard play for Boise State between Anderson and Whiting. The 2 of them have done well to share the rock for the Broncos as Rice got lost and just chucks it out of bounds. And he is going to be replaced by his brother, Cade, the redshirt freshman Rice, who comes on.
Brother substitution, but Lions doing a great job on the defensive end. Been undersized with the rebounding, but they're doing a great job getting the lanes, forcing some of these turnovers for the Broncos.
Less than 5 to play in the first half, 39-21. Ball ends up right at the feet of Abo. That might be the freest takeaway he has this season. Martin working down low, gets to the hoop, and he scores.
Great play there, great footwork. Big time scorer. D2 averaging 25 points a game, and you see that on offer down low. Something that Boise State might have missed in the past, but is going to be a presence for the Broncos as we see a reach-in foul from Jace Whiting. 3 shots for the Lions.
Teo creating the contact, foot just behind the line. It'll be 3 shots. They're actually going to review it, and they're taking a timeout on the floor. A 20-point lead for Boise State. Free throws coming up for Vanguard when we come back. 4 minutes left in the first half, and Cam Martin has been a player to watch for Boise State, a 3-time D2 All-American and a national champion at Kansas, making an impact in his first game in the blue and orange for Boise State.
Transferred from Kansas for a few years. Didn't get many minutes, but when he was at Missouri State Southern, and he was a scorer, over 2,000 points, 43 double-doubles, 56 20-point games. So he can score the ball, and he's going to bring some confidence down low for Leon this year, getting him the ball and operating.
Leonard Berry and Nick Duncan with you on the Mountain West Network and KTVB here locally in southern Idaho. Anthony Teo misses both free throws, and there's another rebound for Martin, who's got 8 points and 7 rebounds on the night. Cade Rice flings it down low. Great block by Cameron Wilson.
Great recovery defense there by the Lions. With full court press, but great rotation here, and luckily get the tip off Agbo for the, what I would call a turnover, I guess.
It'll go down as just a missed shot, but you're right, Nick, in every sense of the way, it is a turnover. Back to Vanguard. Wilson trying to step in, stood up. That's great defense by your point guard right there for Boise State, and a foul called as Cade Rice came away with the ball.
Broncos have done a great job of just keeping their hands back. As you see here, Anderson just doing a great job and playing the percentages, tough shot. Another foul on the defensive rebound. You see Cade Rice heading to the line for 2.
He redshirted last year in the 22-23 season, did Cade Rice. And him and Max, one pair of brothers on this Boise State roster this year. The other, Cam Martin, and his brother Alex, who's a freshman. And Cam will come away with that rebound for Boise State. Sets up the transition 3 for Anderson. That won't go, and the Broncos We talked about it. Uncharacteristic from the outside. They're now 2 of 13.
Low percentage right now, but I think Leon's got to be happy with his shots. A lot of them are wide open. A couple passes into it. You see a great bucket here by Larson. We might have a flopping call.
Against Kobe Young, we do.
Warning here.
Jackson Larson made the bucket. And you see Young just go to the floor pretty easy. That was actually a point of emphasis in the offseason for the referees. Pretty much any soft contact that knocks you down is supposed to be a flop this year to try to take it out of the game as Philip Willis makes the technical free throw. But it will be Boise State basketball. Turns into a three-point play for Vanguard. It's supposed to be a huge point of emphasis this season, and so I imagine we'll see a lot of players be a little bit more adverse to trying to take charges. Abo in the paint, good find. Martin drives in, switches hands, and he's fouled.
See Abo getting down low in the post here. Doing a great job finding the open play here. And Cam Martin having a great start to his Bronco career. 8 points, 8 rebounds. Unfortunately, can't make his first free throw.
Broncos shooting 60% from the stripe so far here tonight. As you said earlier, Nick, trying to knock the rust off.
There you go.
Now Martin will exit as Stanley checks back in. 9 points, 8 rebounds for Martin in just 10 minutes of on-court action. And there's a look at Stanley back in for Boise State. Good find to Wilson, and that three ball goes off the assist from Larson.
Great three there by Wilson. Great ball movement coming off 3 from 6. The game against Cal Institute of Tech, keeping that red hot shooting going to start the season.
Anderson in. Meets a lot of resistance at the basket, but an offensive rebound for Boise State. That is their 11th, and Abo travels.
Just relentless on the offensive glass to start the game, and with all these subs going in and out, substitutions, getting new bodies in with fresh energy. See a little walk here.
.2:15 left, first half in the season opener for Boise State. Larson and Wilson trying that exact same play. Ooh. It'll work off the deflection.
Bit of confidence, great rhythm, great stroke. See the Vanguard just pour on the pressure here, making the game 12-point deficit.
Drop off pass for Meadow. Rice skips it. Good dump down low and the one-handed finish from Omar Stanley.
I haven't watched a lot of film on Stanley, but he's got a great presence down low, offensive glass, and seeing his athleticism not only on the defensive end, but right there with the dunk on the offensive end.
14-point Boise State lead. This Vanguard team, they can certainly score the basketball. As Larson misses his midi. Just over a minute left in the first half. Abo, triple. Rice, can he hit the three? No. Stanley back on the glass. And there's 2 more for the St. John's transfer. 8 points for Omar. Prevost creates contact, rolls out. Again, Broncos doing this all without Tyson Degenhart, Mountain West first-team selection last year, as Anderson turns the ball over.
Just relentless on that pressure and can't take a second off. You see they're forcing the turnover here with 19 seconds on the shot clock and heading into the half break.
Well short from Larson, but nobody boxes out for Boise State. Micah Swartz scores. 10 seconds left. Boise State's got to hurry to get the last shot off. Anderson bumping around, leaves it low, and Larson has the rebound. And then Anderson goes down at the end of the half. A 14-point lead for Boise State. We'll be back with halftime scores and highlights. Halftime at ExtraMile Arena here in the City of Trees. It's Boise State who has the lead over Vanguard 46-32. Leonard Berry and Nick Duncan with you as the Broncos have the lead at the half in their home opener. As we look back at the end of the half, Roddy Anderson went down for Boise State after the shot. Scary moment, but was able to walk off the court to go back to the locker room.
A few hard skipped a beat there, and obviously looked like a play that may look like a knee injury, but it seemed like it was just cramps injury in the first game. Obviously coming off summer and first game here in altitude for some of these guys as well. Some of these issues can occur in their first game.
Especially when you're coming from near sea level, playing a full season at UC San Diego and then transferring to Boise State. It's not as massive as a height elevation increase as some of the schools in the Mountain West, but Nick, certainly you know, as someone who came from Sydney, where you're right there next to the ocean, to come play in Laramie, to play in Colorado Springs, New Mexico, it's tough.
Oh, it's more than tough. A bit unexpected issue that you would address from someone from sea level.
So Boise State with the 14-point lead. We've got more at the half when we come back. Broncos up at the half. Leonard Berry and former Bronco Nick Duncan with you on KTVB and the Mountain West Network as we look at our halftime stats. Said it earlier, this is a Vanguard team. They can certainly score the basketball. The Lions having no problem doing that so far tonight. Out-shooting Boise State from deep and nearly matching them from the floor overall.
Absolutely, creating those 8 turnovers into opportunities on the three-point end, 5 from 9. Obviously see it there with the Broncos, 13%. Bit unusual for the Broncos coming off a strong season from the three-point line last year. But I think Leon will be happy with the shots that they've seen. A lot of those shots, Max Rice, Arbo, I mean, they're wide open threes, rhythm. Those are just shots you want these guys to take, and we'll see them start getting knocked down here in the second half.
The shot selection and the shot setup has been very good for Boise State, and a lot of that has to do with how they've been moving the basketball. There are a lot of moving pieces for Boise State, a lot of players playing together in a game that counts for the first time together when you look at these 6 newcomers for Boise State. But boy, have they meshed well. Roddy Anderson really started things off, controlling the tempo and finding his teammates on the floor, and everyone else has made the shots for him.
He brought that energy to start the game here, really getting into the lane, doing a great job dishing out to his teammates, although only 1 from 6 from the floor and 2 points. Done a great job on that end. And obviously, what we spoke about all first half, done a great job on the offensive glass with Stanley as well as Neto.
Big rim-ripping dunk there from Omar Stanley. He's got 8 points, 5 rebounds. We've also got Cam Martin, who has 9 points and 8 rebounds for Boise State. He nearly had a double-double in that first half, but it's Sabujo Abo who leads all scorers with 13 points, 4 of 7 from the floor. We'll have more from ExtraMile Arena when we come back after these messages. Making our way through halftime here in Boise as we look at the highlights from the first half. Broncos doing a lot of things really well inside the paint. That's where Boise State has really made their way tonight. 46 points, Nick, 30 of them coming inside the painted area.
Well, shooting 2 from 5 from three-point land, not going to get many points from outside shooting that percentage, but as you were saying, Leonard, done a great job inside. A lot of extra efforts on the offensive glass, and you can see here, find the open man. We spoke about it, one of being the main points of the game for Boise State, being unselfish, and they've done a great job of that.
They certainly have. Roddy Anderson has 4 assists for the Broncos. Cam Martin has 2 for Boise State as well, playing a little high-low game out of the post, and the Broncos moving the basketball well to get out to the 14-point lead. A lot of credit to Vanguard really sticking in there. At one point, they were down by 20, started to battle their way back. They forced Boise State into a lot of turnovers, 4 steals for the Lions after coming off the 22 they had in their opener. And in the second half, you imagine they're going to try to ratchet up the defensive intensity.
As we spoke to the BSU coaches, that's what they've done last game and they've done last season as well. 94 feet of defense. They're going to get up and in you, and they're not going to stop all game. And they've done a great job on the offensive end as well. When that ball started to move around, you can see them getting some great shots there, and I feel like they're going to build on that in the second half.
Jackson Larson with 6 points. He's shooting 50% from the floor for the Lions. Cameron Wilson also has 6 points, courtesy of the 2 made three-pointers for Vanguard. Mentioned Abba leading the way with the 13 for the Broncos. Martin right behind him with 9 and Stanley with 8. So the newcomers for Boise State helping out here at the end of the first half. We got second half action coming up when we come back. Back in Boise, Leonard Berry and Nick Duncan with you. A look at Boise State's 2023 non-conference schedule. One of the things that Tim Duryea, assistant coach for Boise State, emphasized to us earlier this week, the selection committee has made it very clear you need to play top-tier talent to get into the NCAA tournament as an at-large bid. Boise State scheduling a lot of top-tier talent this year in this non-conference slate.
A little different from when I played, and you can see right here with some of these lineups that could possibly happen. St. Mary's, Washington State, Clemson, I mean, they've got it all this year. And as you said, it's all based on March. They want to get these games in on the schedule because that's what the committee's looking at these days in order to get those at-large bid if it ever comes to that.
San Francisco coming to town next Sunday. That's a huge WCC matchup before Boise State hits the road for 4 and technically 5, a neutral site matchup against St. Mary's, their second WCC opponent of the non-conference. But that game will be played in Idaho Falls. Broncos playing Virginia Tech in the ESPN Events Invitational in Orlando, Florida. Broncos, the furthest traveling team to that tournament, have pretty good odds to win it, according to the odds makers so far. So for Boise State, that's a stacked field. Florida Atlantic, who made a Final Four run, they're in that field. You can see whoever they play after the Virginia Tech game could be VCU or an Iowa State team out of a very solid Big 12 conference. These are some matchups to really look forward to for Bronco fans.
Absolutely. That tournament, I believe I read top 8 teams in that, or top 56 in some of the scoring statistics last year. So exactly what BSU wanted. I think it's going to be a great season for the Boise State. I'm excited to watch this year, that's for sure.
We're certainly excited to look forward to it for Boise State. Again, that big matchup against San Francisco, that'll be next Sunday on the Mountain West Network and KTVB as we get set to go in the second half here with Boise State up by 14. Broncos shooting 44% from the floor, but just 2 of 15 from 3. They'll try to turn that around here in the second half. Vanguard shooting 50% from the outside as the Lions have done well here on their first trip to Idaho this season. The Vanguard Lions will be back in Caldwell in a week. On the 17th, they go to Caldwell to take on the #1 ranked College of Idaho Yotes on the men's side. And College of Idaho, Boise State, some great basketball here locally in the Treasure Valley.
Reigning national champs, Coach Colby Blaine, doing a great job with the Yotes program on the other side of the valley, and wish him well for this season.
It'll be Vanguard basketball to start things out here in the second half as Bryson Metz, sophomore guard, inbounds it, and we are back underway here at ExtraMile Arena. Nearly a turnover there, but Swartz chases it down. This is Daska, who travels in the middle of the key.
Little walk there from Daska. He's doing a great job getting inside, creating for his teammates. Started off that way in the first half, and imagine he's going to do that here in the second half, try to create some opportunities for the Lions to try and cut into this deficit here.
You can see the pressure applied by Vanguard. Whiting, crossover move to create himself some space. Up to Meadow, and Andrew Meadow gets his first Boise State bucket.
Sure, that's a relief for the freshman, getting that first bucket off a couple of missed threes in the first half.
The first points in what he hopes will be a very successful Boise State career. Daska from the free throw line, that jumper is good. And Meadow talked about this a little bit in the first half, but never got to truly finish the point. Shows you how much trust the coaching staff has in him, that he starts here tonight with Tyson Degenhardt out. That is a big vote of confidence from Leon Rice and the rest of the staff.
Staff really love this kid. Every minute he's he's going to play 100%. That's what they say. He loves basketball, gym rat. He's going to put 100% into every play. See a ill-advised shot from Cam Martin after the strong first half performance. See the Lions come down, see if they can create some offense here.
Daska off right. And Martin, the rebound, the outlet. Abo lost it, but he finishes.
Good hand-eye coordination there. Getting the layup there on the other end of the court.
Larson fouled by Martin.
See Leon, Coach Rice yelling, getting some ball pressure. See Cam just reaching a little too much there with the foul.
Martin, who's originally from Yukon, Oklahoma, was a top 5 player to come out of the state his senior year of high school. As Daska misses, that's rebound number 10 for Martin. Needs just 1 point to complete the double-double here on opening night. Whiting, bounce pass to Martin. Going for that 10th point, and he's got it. Make it 11 for Martin, and he's got 11 and 10, a double-double for Martin in the debut. 11 and 11 with that rebound as well.
Great start to his Bronco career. See Rice here with a great pass to Meadows. Hard foul there with Meadows going to the line for 2.
Take a look back. Pass from Rice.
Simple basketball, finding the open player. Saw it in the first half. Didn't shoot the percentage from the three-point line, but you can just see that team chemistry already coming from their trip from Canada during the summer and into the first game here at ExtraMile Arena.
There's a look at Leon Rice. And I think the biggest thing for Max Rice, as you've seen over the seasons as he checks out of the game, every year Max Rice has gotten more comfortable with the ball in his hand. In his first season when he came back from redshirting, was much more of just a catch-and-shoot player, didn't create too much on the offense, didn't try to drive it in the paint or the lane, just let it fly when he caught the ball. But as the years have gone on, he has progressively become a better ball handler, a better distributor, and now really plays a fantastic off guard for Boise State to give their point guard some relief.
Yeah, you make a good point there, and I think he does it in ways that he knows how to score. See there, great bucket inside by Sis, but Max has just really developed his game and worked with his strengths, and he knows he's not the most athletic guard out there, but he's worked on the floater game when he gets inside, and obviously his three-point is one of his best attributes to his game. So see him in the gym a lot working on it, and you really see that pay off last year with their run into the tourney, and hopefully he has a big 60-year senior year for him.
There's Leon Rice, and talk about the development for his son, Max. In fact, Leon's staff was voted as one of the best developmental staffs in a vote among Mountain West coaches. And when you look at the players that have either transferred in or have been JUCO arrivals for Boise State, as you look at the blocking foul, names like Abu Kijab, Emmanuel Acott, Derek Marks, Justinian Jessup, Najee Smith, Marcus Shaver Jr., Anthony Dermick, Derek Alston. I mean, the list goes on and on for Boise State in terms of players that they developed over their 4 years.
See a great move there by Agbo, but Leon and the coaching staff do a great job of developing players, not only as a team, but individually, work one-on-one, try to find ways to get their buckets. and produce the best basketball. So they do a really good job of that, and you can see it out here and in future years as well.
There's Cisse, who missed the shot, but Prevost, nobody puts a body on him, and it's a free putback for the senior guard. For Cam Martin, his double-double is the first for Boise State since Najee Smith had 18 points and 10 rebounds against Wyoming last February. Whiting misses the three, Wilson the rebound. 20-point lead for Boise State. Wilson into the step back. That's a tough shot.
Broncos go on the offense here from the defensive rebound.
Abo left alone, left corner triple. And the slow shooting for Boise State downtown continues. 2 of 18 tonight.
Still taking great shots. Hopefully see one go down here.
Abo's got 19 points on 7 of 11 shooting, and he has been always open. There's a three from Teo. That clanks iron. Stanley almost lost it, stays with it. Great ball control.
Three's not going down, attack the paint, and Stanley being the main contributor here first half into the second as we see Wilson, another pull-up jumper.
4th rebound for Anderson the third. And he turns it over there, being a bit too careless, and then commits the foul as well. Boise State has the lead. Scoring in the paint has been the identity for the Broncos tonight. Leonard Berry and Nick Duncan back with you on KCVB and the Mountain West Network. Talked about Boise State scoring in the paint. How about 42 points down low for Boise State here tonight?
Undersized big men, but they've done a good job with their footwork, especially on the fast break. You see Stanley, he's really impressed me this game, really attacking the rim, especially on the offensive push, and three's not going down. Got to score somehow, and they've done a great job getting that ball inside. Some of these newcomers doing a great job. Cam Martin as well, putting some points on the board, and the three ball's not going down.
That might be a little bit of an understatement. Boise State's 11% from deep, 2 of 18, as Young forces the turnover for Boise State. Some dangerous cross-court passes here by the Broncos. Anderson looking around. Keene's pass tipped, stolen away. 6th steal for the Lions. As Willis rises and knocks down the triple. 5th three-pointer of the night for Vanguard. First for Willis, he's got 8 points.
Doing a great job turning turnovers into great offense. You see another one here with the full court press, another three-point shot.
Chases it down, gets his own board, but can't hit that one either. And then Vanguard fouls, but Boise State turning the ball over with some errant passing.
I think I was just doing a great job of rushing the offense, forcing some turnovers, 11 forced turnovers. They've done a great job. Just haven't hit some of these big threes here, but I think they're going to continue with this pressure here in the front court.
Anderson catches the over-the-shoulder pass. And even in the half-court, Vanguard starting to frustrate Boise State a little bit as the foul is called on the backside.
Yeah, you can see just Boise State being a little tentative outside the three-point line here, and they're just doing a great job getting up and in them. And unfortunate foul there, but they're going to continue the pressure all game, try and force these turnovers and get back into this game.
Jaden Johnson called for the foul. Young flashes open, gets to the hoop, and fouled as Wilson came over the top.
Kobe Young having a great start to the game. Hit a three-point in the first half and adding 3 rebounds as well to it. And he could be an integral part. Didn't play a whole lot last year, but I think he can get some minutes here and contribute to the Broncos.
Yeah, Young played in 27 games last year for Boise State, but he didn't get a whole lot of minutes for the Broncos, averaging just around 5 per game for Boise State. So although he did feature in quite a few games, it wasn't for extended period of time. I think this might be the year for Kobe Young where he really gets onto the court as a member of the rotation and makes that big impact like you were saying there, Nick.
I think another attribute to Young's game is his defense here. Of course, as I say that, score a bucket on him, but I think he can be a great presence on the defensive end. Got some length, got some athleticism. Obviously, that defensive rebound there with 3 rebounds as well.
That was a nice finish by Metz. Comes from a pretty good basketball high school in Vancouver. Played at Union. Did the sophomore for the Lions. Scored that last bucket. Martin with a little face-up game. Gets into the post. Soft touch won't go. It'll bounce out, but the Lions were the last to touch it.
Crafty spin move. Loves to go to the left hand for the dribble, I've noticed in the first half, but does a great job getting back to that left-hand shoulder for the right-hand hook, and had a couple in the first half, just unable to finish that one.
Abo. High post action again for Martin. Showing off what he's got, but he's fouled on his way through. 6th foul against Vanguard as we look at the foul.
You see here, 2,000 points through his Southern State, but something that we've lacked in the past, the 5. But you can see here, obviously attacking the rim, getting blocked, but bringing a lot of presence inside on the offensive attack.
Big block from Wilson there. This is Larson to the rim. A lot of contact. Abo's on the ground, and Anderson calls the timeout. That's smart by the point guard for Boise State. He gets the timeout while Abo is fighting for his life on the ground. We're back at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State with the lead over Vanguard, and the Lions coming off an impressive performance against Cal Tech. 103-59 was the victory for Vanguard in that game. We mentioned this is a team that can score the basketball. Certainly proved that they're shooting 39% tonight, 42% from 3. Nick, there were teams last year that would have been thrilled to shoot those kind of percentages against Boise State.
Oh, absolutely, and mentioned it before, 22 turnovers, 18 assists, and 14 made 3, as you can see. R.J. Keene with the 3 from the corner.
Keene getting in on the outside scoring action. Boise State finally hits a 3 here in the second half. They're 3 of 19 from the outside. Young, Keene, and Rice have hit the 3-pointers for Boise State on the evening.
Not the people you probably expect to hit the 3s, but doing a great job here with R.J. Keene cutting the basket, bringing a great burst of energy off the bench with 5 quick points here.
Keene with another bucket. He's another player, much in the same vein as Kobe Young, could really grow onto the team for Boise State. We'll be back. We are back in Boise. Leonard Berry and Nick Duncan welcoming in everyone watching on the Mountain West Network and KTVB tonight here in Boise and across southern Idaho as the Broncos lead the Lions with 11 minutes left to go in the contest. It's been a good night for Boise State, good night for Vanguard, as they have certainly shown that they have the talent to match up with some D1 opposition here, and a Boise State team that, for all intents and purposes, is a lot of people's dark horse to make a splash in the NCAA tournament this season. Vanguard very much holding their own. This is Nico Daska. Some nifty ball handling. That's low shot clock shot. Had to just put it up. Martin's got rebound number 12.
Boise State with great defensive possession, come out the timeout, forcing a tough shot. RJ King, heat check in the corner.
Steps back into that three. As Wilson takes the heat check. Abo soars in, and they're going to call a foul on him. We'll take a look at what Abo did.
Spoke pre-game about the Lions. They might have a height disparity, but they've done a great job on the offensive boards.
Actually called that foul on Martin for the shove in the middle of the lane. Abo was in the clear. Here's Teo. Trying to create his own shot. The ball just hasn't been going down for him this evening. Anderson poked out from behind. Nearly turned it over. Abo's foot was on the line. He will turn it over.
See Tello, missed shot, but sprinting back on defense, forcing that fumble and leading into that turnover. So see that hustle on display from the Lions, not giving up on any possessions.
That's the 12th turnover against Boise State. Vanguard only has 11. And again, for the Lions, came here to play tonight. Very impressed with their effort on the defensive end. And anytime that you can get Boise State to turn the ball over more than you do.
Absolutely.
Teo finds Willis. Metz rises, dumps it down. Metz three. Offside iron. And the rebound grabbed by Young. Abo in the lane, lost the ball. Boise State's been getting some lucky bounces today.
Lucky bounces, but Stanley just seems to be there. Every time he's on the court, ball seems to be landing. We're doing a great job getting the lane. Stanley just being at the right place at the right time. Back to the free throw line for Omar.
Stanley has got 10 points and 5 rebounds. Makes it 11 by making the first free throw. 4 of 5 from the floor. A couple of great debuts by the Boise State newcomers. You look at Martin with the double-double. Stanley scoring in double digits.
3 from 3 from the line and 5 from 11 from the 3-point line at St. John. So he has the ability to step out if he needs to. You can see here on display 4 from 4 from the line.
Silky smooth from the charity stripe. Teo knifes through, goes up against Stanley. Lead pass for Whiting, who protects it and finishes.
Great defense to offense there. Arid pass, but get out on the break here as we see Mertz getting to the paint.
Good handles from Metz there. He broke down the Boise State defense. Take a look at him getting into the paint. Missed 3 ball from Phillip Willis. Gives the ball back to the Broncos. And a foul called against the Citrus College transfer, Anthony Teo.
A little reach in, getting the Broncos to the line for the bonus. But, you know, we speak about the Lions. They've done a great job and done a great job turning the ball over. Just seems that just can't get that bucket to get pulled closer, and had some great looks from the 3-point line as well as inside. Just need to hit a couple here to get back into the game.
Boise State beginning to pull away here on a 9-0 run over the last 3 minutes. And this was the time last year where Boise State was one of the best teams, certainly in the Mountain West, and even in the country in that last 8-minute stretch. That is where Boise State won a lot of games last year. Metz bounces back, gets in. Rebound for Johnson, and he'll draw the foul.
Great job there getting on offensive glass. See Mertz with the shifty. Let's get into the hoop, but Johnson doing a great job getting to the line for two.
Really no fear from Bryson Metz at just 5'10". Gets down there amongst the bigs. Traden Johnson makes his first free throw. Junior from Temecula, California. Played in 26 games last year. Whiting harassed and fouled.
Non-stop, isn't it, on the defensive end from the Lions? Putting pressure on Boise State, taking some gambles. See with the foul, but doing a great job getting up and in him.
That's the 9th foul against the Lions. That means that the next will put Boise State into the double bonus as Whiting gets the 1-and-1 and makes the first half. Cade Rice coming back in, and we've got a double dose of Rice. 2 scoops with Max and Cade out there. Whiting makes both free throws.
Whiting's going to be a great asset for the Broncos this year. Obviously came off the bench last year, added some great valuable minutes, but looks like he's put on a bit of weight over the offseason, strengthened up. So you see here the drive by Tello, rebound by Cade Rice, but I think he's going to be a big part of the offense.
Meadow creating contact, goes down hard. It's a jump ball. The possession arrow pointing to the right end. Boise State will keep it when we come back. We welcome you back to ExtraMile Arena here in Boise. 30-point lead for Boise State, under 8 to go in this season opening contest for the Broncos. Leonard Berry and Nick Duncan with you as Boise State has the big advantage and the basketball coming out of the timeout.
Good opportunity to get some plays going and draw up and try to execute in the first game. Baseline out of bound out of the timeout.
Whiting trying to feed the ball to Max Rice, and he does so. Max in the lane, bounces it off to Cade. Good work around the outside. Meadow can't hit the 3. Whiting comes flying out, lets Willis step in, but he misses that. Vanguard has really slowed down on their shooting percentages, just one of the last 14. In fact, they don't have a field goal over the last 5.5 minutes. Stanley into the restricted circle, and it's stolen away. Daska takes it. Under 7 minutes left. Sims steps into the shot.
Can't seem to break that drought. Close to 6 minutes without a field goal for Vanguard.
Go for their last 12. Rice, straightaway triple, in and out. That's been the story of the night, but the offensive glass has been the story as well. 15th offensive rebound for Boise State. Omar Stanley with the make.
There he is again, as we see Daska inside, but Omar Stanley having a great start to his Bronco career. Limited minutes at St. John's, transferred to Boise State over the offseason, and finding some valuable minutes, and sure we'll see him a lot in the Bronco uniform.
Meadow in, nice finish as he goes from left to right.
Smooth move, and as I said pregame, he's the one to watch this year. Freshman provide some valuable minutes.
Think back to a couple years ago, there was another freshman forward for Boise State that really made an impact for the Broncos. He's on the bench tonight. Andrew Meadow, certainly trying to follow in Tyson Degenhardt's footsteps.
I think they're going to be a good complementary team out there as we see Omar again inside. Little spin move back to his right shoulder to his preferable left hand, but I think it'll be a dynamic duo there. Maybe if there's some small ball happening, Meadows and Degenhardt on the court at the same time.
Just throwing that one up behind his head was Phillip Willis, and he draws the foul. That'll send him to the free throw line to shoot 2 as we look at the action.
Great drive getting to the hoop. We see Broncos getting some subs in as well as Vanguard. Cam Martin back into the game as well as Roddy Anderson and Kobe Young.
Like we talked about earlier, that 8-minute stretch to end games, that's where Boise State is so devastating. Their defense just wears you down. And as you can see for Vanguard, working hard to create their own shots. It's been a struggle for them recently, just one of the last 15 after that miss. Got a foul underneath the hoop as Anderson was looking around.
Mentioned the Broncos defense last year being ranked top 25 in the KenPom defensive efficiency ratings and all of NCAA, and Mike Burns has been a great attribute to that. On the coaching staff, being the defensive coordinator, as I say to him, and done a great job instilling some great values and systems for Boise State, and it's really paid off the last couple of years.
Coach Burns always talking about getting the stick hand up. No free threes, no free shots from anywhere. You saw that on the closeout from Roddy Anderson. There's a closeout from Young on the 3-ball from Sims. Rebound is still loose, and a foul is going to go against Cade Rice.
Bodies flying around. See here, Lions not giving up. See a foul and 1-and-1 coming up for the Lions.
7th foul against Boise State. Broncos are into the double bonus as Mo Silla comes into the game for the Broncos, the 5th-year center from Abidjan in the Ivory Coast. Transferred to Boise State last year from Detroit Mercy. And he's going to play another big role. He's the most accurately sized center for Boise State at 6'11", 243 pounds. And he was a defensive stopper last year for the Broncos. Coaching staff has really liked the improvements they've seen from him this season, as well as Young lets it fly. So Silla, in games where Boise State need to match up on the interior, expect to see him get a lot of minutes.
Yeah, as you said, Cam Martin, Stanley, as we see an error turnover there from the Broncos, but Silla's going to be there as an option. Play some taller centers in league play as well as non-conference. I think he's going to bring a bit of height and a bit of brute force down low in case opponents might be a bit taller inside. See here the Lions trying to set up with Deska into the post. Cisse. Shot off the glass. We see Cade Rice pull down the defensive board and onto the attack with Meadows.
And Meadows fouled there as he tried to bang his way in. So he creates the contact, gets the foul call, as Boise State extends their lead here in the second half. Back with more after this break. Under 4 to go in Boise, 3:47 left in the second half as the Broncos look to close out a season-opening win and get their first of hopefully many under their belt here to start the 2023-24 season. Leonard Berry and Nick Duncan here with you on KTVB and the Mountain West Network as Boise State is up 82-48. They have really shut Vanguard down from the field. Here in the second half, just one of the last 17 shots have fallen for the Lions, and Andrew Meadow is at the line to shoot 2 for Boise State. Makes the first, and that's a good start for the freshman at the line. He's now 3 of 3 in the game.
Just a couple 3-pointers, but where you get your shot back at the 3-throw line, and seems like he's got a good shot, good arc on him, so I'm sure he'll build up some confidence and knock down a couple of threes here at the end of the game, if not, heading into the game to San Francisco.
Freshman from Santa Clarita, California, who was the Foothill League MVP in his senior season. Chasing that down was Mitchell Prevost. It's over and back against the Lions after Larson threw it away. And how about 6 for 31 in the half for the Lions, 19.4% in the half after they were shooting 42% in the first half.
That second half defense, Vanguard did a great job scoring 32 points in the first half, but really clamped down on the defense and just forced Vanguard to take some tough shots, nothing too special. Same Burns making sure to contest every shot. You see Cade Rice, beautiful pass there.
Meadow just can't hit that 3. Silla's in the middle. Tip in for Boise State, won't go. It was Young who had that chance. See the Broncos, they're all over the glass. Even if the shots don't fall, just getting those chances, certainly better than not. Over the course of the season, those things will start to average themselves out. Prevost, great pass to the cutting Larson.
Straight into the full court press. See if they can get some turnovers here and speed up the Broncos and get a few buckets here in the final couple minutes.
Ball control for Anderson. Nice spin move. There he goes to the basket. And it won't drop. Anderson having a tough time attacking the hoop tonight. Daska hits the 3. Anderson still out of the play on the other side. And they're going to stop play as Anderson's crawling around on the floor. Boise State going to make some substitutions.
Seems like another cramp. It's never the best when he goes down like that, but it looks like it's just a cramp. Nothing too serious.
There's Anderson walking it off. Omar Stanley helping him back to his feet.
Sure, Leon might be thinking that might be time to get some of these potential starters for the rest of the season. Obviously, newcomers to the program getting some valuable minutes. But as you can see, some substitutions made with Anderson coming off the court. Some of these younger guys getting some minutes here towards the end of the game.
Sophomore Jace Whiting. Silla. Back to Cade Rice. Whistle and a foul for a hit on the arm. Under 2 minutes left in the second half.
As I was mentioning, these minutes here for RJ, Kobe, Silla is invaluable to get these guys some minutes and some confidence. Always tough coming off, some of these guys redshirt years, injury years as well. Good to get them some time. As we see Sam Winters coming in, as well as Vince Barring.
Bryce waiting for his second free throw. And he'll make that one. And then it will come out of the game. Sam Winter will come in, along with Vince Baringer. Baringer, a redshirt freshman from Mountain View, California. Winter, junior from Montesano, Washington. And a back cut and a bucket Nice play there for Kobe Nunez. (85-55) Boise State. Winner, catch and shoot, 3-ball. Hits iron, he jumps up to try to save it, and he does to Keene. Silla in the paint, flushes it.
Beautiful pass there from RJ. You can see that length there from Silla.
That 6'11" frame letting him get up on the Robert Aguirre miss. Both teams thinning out the bench, using everybody here tonight as there's a minute remaining. Whiting fakes the pass and makes it. Silla doesn't shoot much from out there. Keene's on the offensive glass, and it'll filter its way in after sitting on the front of the rim.
20th offensive rebound for the Broncos.
Silla with a block for Boise State. They will have to put up a shot here as Behringer lets it fly from the corner. Another miss from deep for Boise State. On the attack, Jackson Floyd dishes it back. Larson. And Keene's got it. Boise State can hold it and run out the clock. So a lot of good for Boise State here tonight as they're going to come away with an 89-55 victory to pick up their first win of the year. Broncos shoot 45% from the floor, make 24 of 32 free throws on the night, and grab 20 offensive rebounds that lead to 20 second chance points in the victory. They shoot just 12% from three, but again, when you can crash the glass the way they did and score 54 points in the paint, that's not necessarily necessary.
A lot of positives for the Broncos to take out. Obviously, 12% from the three-point line, obviously something that I don't think will continue, but obviously crashing the offensive board, dominance inside tonight. I think there's a lot of things that they can improve on, but looking forward to some of these big games coming up, getting some of these guys some minutes, and a lot of minutes has been a positive for the Broncos.
So Boise State wins it. When we come back, we'll hear reactions from ExtraMile Arena and give you the final stats. Welcome back to ExtraMile Arena. Boise State wins it 89-55 against Vanguard. They start their season 1-0. Leonard Berry, Nick Duncan back with you. And we're joined by Boise State guard RJ Keene. And RJ, big win for you guys here tonight. You got involved on offense early. How did it feel to see some shots go in early and give you some confidence for the rest of the game?
It felt great. I'm excited to be back on the court and get the season going. I mean, we've been waiting forever. We had our foreign trip, and we've been ready to play forever.
Obviously, injury last year, redshirt the year before. I mean, what's it like and to come back and obviously a long period away from the court? But tell us a little bit more about your time away and obviously getting back on the court.
Yeah, I saw a stat. It's been like 900 days since I played an actual real basketball game. And I mean, I've been eagerly waiting. I mean, it was so much fun out there, and I'm so much excited for the season. It's going to be a fun year.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a fun year, and the schedule is about to really pick up for you guys. You got San Francisco on Sunday before a huge road trip. So what's the mentality going forward for another big home game on Sunday against the Dons?
Basically, just bring the energy, guard your yard, and play hard and play together. We got to push the ball more, and basically just play force. I mean, we're a really good team when we start running, and you could see it today. I mean, we made some tough layups in transition and just keep pushing it and just playing together and talking. We need to communicate a little bit better. And once we get that down, we're going to be a really hard team to guard.
Well, it was awesome seeing you back out on the court. RJ, congratulations on the victory, and we wish you the best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
RJ Keene for Boise State as the Broncos win it over Vanguard. Final score 89-55 as Boise State closes out the night shooting 45%, 31 of 69 here on the evening, and they score 54 points in the paint. The leading scorer on the night was Shibuzo Abo, who went 7 of 11 from the floor. He joined just now. And Shibuzo, getting back out there after a long time away, after playing in the NCAA tournament last year. How did it feel to get back out on the floor and get that first victory?
I mean, it's been great, honestly. We've been waiting for this for a long time. We got tired of beating ourselves up, so it's time to do it with somebody else.
Obviously, had 1 year here, his second year here. Now, what are the personal goals for you this year, and as well as the team? Obviously trying to improve off last year, and hopefully maybe win the game in the March Madness.
Right, we want it all. We want league championship. We want tournament championship. We want to go into the tournament, win a couple games, make a run. We have high expectations for ourselves.
And for you guys, you got some newcomers this year. You were one of those newcomers last year. So as someone who's been in that role, how can you help the 6 new guys, whether they're freshmen or transfers, kind of adapt to the Boise State culture and be productive out on the court?
Right. I just encourage them to accept, and they've done a great job of that. And just whatever coach throws at them, just take it and go with it and being a good teammate.
Well, you've certainly done that. We appreciate your time, Shabuzo, and we look forward to seeing you again on Sunday.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Of course. Shabuzo Abo for Boise State, 19 points tonight to go along with 7 rebounds in 26 minutes. He is the leading scorer on the evening, and we talked about it. The 6 newcomers, Omar Stanley and Cam Martin, made the impact. Buzo, one of those transfers a year ago coming in from Texas Tech, and he's got the leadership and the veteran experience that can show the rest of these guys what they need to be successful this year as we look at the final stats.
See the final stats here, obviously pops up the 12% for the three-point line, but I did a great job getting to the free throw line, 24 from 32, 75%. Got a great job turning the ball over, but I think this is just the first game, first stepping stone for them for the season, and big game Sunday against the Dons.
It does not get any easier for Boise State. Certainly a really good San Francisco team will be in town against Boise State. That's a 2 p.m. Mountain Time tip-off here at ExtraMile Arena. Then Boise State will travel to Clemson before taking part in the ESPN Events Invitational over the Thanksgiving break. So for Boise State, this is the time where at the end of the season, come Selection Sunday, it's going to be these games starting on Sunday that may make the difference between an at-large berth and sitting at home on that next weekend.
Oh, absolutely. They've planned this out, one of these harder games. This is just a stepping stone into that and hopefully progress into conference play. Obviously, it matters through the tourney there, but, doesn't work out there in the tourney. You can fall back on some of these games and hopefully pick up some big-time wins.
Looking to pick up some big-time wins. The Broncos do that tonight. 89-55 is the final. As we mentioned, Boise State will be back in action for their second straight home game on Sunday against the San Francisco Dons. For our entire crew here at Boise State University and my broadcast partner, Nick Duncan, we thank you for tuning in as we look at the Boise State schedule going forward. Again, this is just the non-conference slate. It's a Mountain West Conference, Nick, that is heralded by many to be part of the Big Six at this point. San Diego State played for a national championship a year ago. Boise State, Utah State, Colorado State. These are teams that can make some noise, and when it comes to it, the Broncos have to win some of these non-conference games to be ready for that.
Oh, absolutely. San Diego State, all those big teams, but
it is Boise State who gets the win, 89-55 over Vanguard. Broncos improve to 1-0, and they will look to move to 2-0 as they take on San Francisco, 2 p.m. on KTVB in southern Idaho, and on the Mountain West Network nationally. Boise State versus the Dons coming up on Sunday. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next Sunday.